the third largest island on the planet, a territory covered by ancient, dense primary jungles, full of mystery. With a surface area of approximately 74.6 million hectares, this island stands as a gigantic green fortress in the heart of maritime Southeast Asia. Rainforests, high mountains, peat swamps, and tropical rivers intertwine to form a complex ecosystem. Between isolated mountains and vast swampy areas, every sound and every shadow can be a sign of life or the beginning of an end. The heat is constant, humidity dominates the air, and the vegetation forms a labyrinth that is almost impossible to cross. In the center of the island, the forested region known as the Heart of Borneo still extends over more than 22 million hectares. It is one of the last great blocks of equatorial jungle in Asia. In this world, more than 15,000 species of plants, hundreds of mammal species, and more than 600 species of birds share a space that is as abundant as it is implacable. Murky rivers flow through the deep jungle, carrying sediments, fallen branches, and stories accumulated over millennia. Here, survival depends not only on strength, but also on the ability to adapt and on patience. Beneath the forest canopy, sunlight rarely reaches the ground. The balance between hunting and finding shelter decides the fate of every living being. The sounds of the ancient jungle are not simple noises. They are warnings. Everything in this extreme environment imposes limits and challenges on the creatures that inhabit it. Borneo is a stage of biological resistance, where life has evolved under constant tension. And now we will enter that world, a place where every animal, from the giants that dominate the riverbanks to the silent phantoms of the canopy, carries its own strategy for survival. Welcome to Wild Borneo, hidden creatures in the most mysterious jungle. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to keep creating high-quality content. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on the video and tell us where you're watching from so we can chat together. Let's begin. The island of Borneo is home to one of the most complex ecosystems on the planet. The humid tropical rainforest covers millions of hectares, fragmented by an intricate network of rivers, extensive peat swamps, mountainous forests, and coastal mangrove strips. Each habitat is connected to the others, forming a vast biological network where life functions continuously, from the humid soil to the highest canopy. The vegetation of this place is dominated by trees of the Dipterocarpaceae family, green giants capable of exceeding 60 meters in height. These ancient trees do not only form the great dome that covers the jungle, they also stabilize the soil, retain water, and provide fruits, cavities, and shelter for countless creatures. Beneath them exists a dense world of lianas, ferns, fungi, insects, and decomposing leaves, where nutrients are regenerated day after day. Borneo is considered one of the most important biodiversity hotspots in the world. Its forests are home to hundreds of species of mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and freshwater fish. High in the canopy, the Bornean orangutan moves slowly between the branches of centenarian trees. Along the jungle rivers, the proboscis monkey, the Bornean pygmy elephant, and the saltwater crocodile coexist in an environment that is as rich in food as it is full of dangers. In the darkness, the sunder-clouded leopard hunts in silence. The sun bear tears apart termite mounds with its curved claws, and the binturong discreetly follows the scent of ripe fruits among the high branches. On the slopes, the forest becomes more open, and the ground is covered by a thick layer of fallen leaves. Rivers transport sediments and nutrients, feeding life both under the water and on dry land. Each layer of the jungle fulfills its own function. The ground is the feeding zone for large mammals. The middle level belongs to civets, squirrels, snakes, and small primates. The upper canopy is the world of hornbills, Bornean gibbons, and species that disperse seeds. Contemplating this precise organization, one has the feeling that every layer of leaves, every river, and even the smallest creature carries the mark of the Creator. It is a living order that is as wonderful as it is fragile, in the face of which human beings must learn to act with respect. When venturing into the Borneo jungle, sometimes the greatest danger is not that which makes noise. It does not roar, it does not launch itself from a distance, nor does it leave tracks on the mud. It can be right before your eyes, coiled on a low branch, perfectly blended with the color of the leaves. In that green and dense world, a small curve that seems harmless can be the signal of an assassin lying in wait. It is the green pit viper, one of the most dangerous and difficult to detect creatures in the jungles of Borneo. The most disturbing thing about the green viper is its camouflage capability. The color of its body blends almost completely with the leaves, vines, and moss-covered branches. When it remains motionless on a low branch, it can disappear before the eyes of its prey. Its triangular head protrudes slightly. Its cold eyes observe every small movement, while its entire body remains silent, as if it were part of the foliage. A lizard, a tree frog, a chick, or a small mammal can pass by without knowing that death awaits just a few centimeters away. Unlike predators that must move without rest, the green viper chooses to save energy. It stays still, blends with the leaves, and waits for the prey to enter its attack radius on its own. When the time comes, the bite occurs at extreme speed. The venom penetrates the body of the prey and weakens it before it is devoured. The green viper usually appears on low branches, thickets, stream banks, and areas of high humidity. These are also places where many small creatures move, from frogs and large insects to different species of lizards. By controlling these prey populations, the viper contributes to maintaining the balance in the lower strata of the Bornean jungle. Although dangerous, the green viper does not attack without reason. Most of the time, it avoids conflict and only bites when hunting or when it feels threatened. Its true danger arises from the fact that humans and other species often do not perceive its presence. A green branch that seems harmless, a bush by the trail, or a low trunk near the ground can hide a predator waiting in silence. In the Borneo ecosystem, the green viper represents a very different form of power. It is not the strength of the elephant, nor the jaws of the crocodile, nor the intelligence of primates. It is the power of remaining hidden, of colour turned into camouflage, and of a precise attack in a fleeting instant. Among the humid leaves of the ancient jungle, the green viper remains there, silent, patient, and almost invisible. It is a reminder that, in Borneo, danger does not always arrive with a roar or heavy footsteps. Sometimes it is just a green curve on a branch, waiting in silence until everything is too late. Beneath the lowest strata of the Borneo jungle, the world appears completely different from the canopy that rises high above. There are no calls echoing in the distance, nor branches swaying under the light. There are only roots, rotting wood, dry leaves, and a damp ground covered with traces of life. It is precisely in that dark and wet labyrinth where an ancient hunter hides. It does not need to chase its prey, nor does it need to weave a web. It only needs to wait. It is the Borneo forest tarantula, a large spider that lives near the ground, patient and almost invisible among the leaf litter. A small forest mouse moves through the base of a tree, sniffing restlessly over the damp earth. It does not know that, right beside it, in a dark crevice under a decaying log, a body covered in sensory hairs has already detected every vibration of its footsteps. The tarantula does not need to see its prey clearly. It listens to the jungle with its entire body. The mouse approaches. It takes one more step. Then, in just an instant, a shadow with 8 legs emerges from its hiding place. The front legs catch the prey. The strong fangs sink into its body, and the venom enters the animal that still tries to resist. The struggle weakens. The muscles become paralyzed, and beneath the layer of dead leaves, the hunt ends almost without a sound. Tarantulas belong to the family Theraphosidae, a group of large spiders distributed in many tropical regions. They have 8 legs and a body divided into 2 main parts, the cephalothorax and the abdomen. Spiders are not insects, but arachnids, closer to scorpions and ticks than to flies, ants, or butterflies. Although their appearance causes fear in many people, most tarantulas do not actively attack human beings. Their venom is primarily used to overpower small prey, but in the lower world of the Borneo jungle, where everything happens in silence beneath the leaf litter, they are formidable predators. The tarantula's most extraordinary ability is detecting vibrations. Its body covered in sensory hairs allows it to perceive minute movements transmitted through the ground, dry leaves or logs. A cricket crossing a root, a jungle cockroach brushing against a dry leaf, a young lizard taking the wrong path, or a small mouse getting too close to its refuge can awaken its ambush instinct. Unlike many spiders that build webs, the tarantula usually hunts by waiting. It hides in burrows, under roots, or inside dark crevices. From that refuge, it remains almost motionless until the prey enters its attack radius. When the time comes, the jump is fast, direct, and so precise that the victim hardly has time to react. Its food includes large insects, jungle cockroaches, crickets, beetles, smaller spiders, young frogs, small lizards, and occasionally other tiny animals that get lost among the leaf layer. When attacking, it uses its fangs to hold the prey firmly, injects venom to immobilize it, and then begins digestion through enzymatic fluids. But the tarantula is not just a disturbing image under the forest floor. It is an important link in the ecosystem. By controlling the number of insects and other invertebrates, it helps prevent the lower layers of the jungle from losing their balance. The ambusher of today can become the target of another hunt tomorrow. Beneath the giant trees and the large creatures of Borneo, the tarantula represents a smaller, but no less brutal, world. It does not dominate by its size. It does not leave marked tracks in the mud, but in the humid leaf litter, it is a silent, precise, resistant hunter, and completely adapted to the darkness of the ancient jungle. And it only takes one small creature taking a false step. It only takes one vibration crossing the humid ground for that 8-legged hunter to wake up. In the Borneo jungle, danger is sometimes not in the heights or before your eyes. It is just beneath the layer of dead leaves, silent, patient, and waiting for the prey to pass by. Before the first light pierces the green roof of Borneo, A reddish silhouette moves silently among the high branches. There are no roars, no violent chases. Only silence, calculation, and an extraordinary memory that guides it through the green labyrinth. In that humid and ancient jungle, the orangutan is not just a resident of the canopy. It is like the living memory of the primordial forest, slow, silent, but loaded with experiences accumulated over years of survival. As the largest arboreal animal on the planet, the Bornean orangutan seems to have been born to belong to the world of the heights. Its long and powerful arms allow it to cross the spaces between branches. Each movement is not fast, but it is precise, efficient, and full of intention. In adult males, that strength is manifested in a body that can exceed 90 kilograms. The large facial pads on both sides of the face are signs of age, status, and territorial dominance. When its long call crosses the jungle, it is not just a form of communication. It is a declaration that this area of fruit trees already has an owner. But the orangutan's power does not reside in noise. Unlike many primates that live in groups, orangutans are largely solitary. Each individual silently covers a wide area of activity, remembering the location of fruit trees, water sources, and safe routes among the heights. In a jungle where food changes with the seasons, memory becomes a survival weapon. When the fruit season arrives, the orangutan can feed for hours in the canopy, selecting ripe fruits, tender leaves, bark, seeds, flowers, and sometimes insects. But when resources begin to become scarce, every cluster of fruit becomes a treasure. Then it must choose the shortest path, spend as little energy as possible, and rely on its experience to overcome the scarcity. The orangutan does not only remember, it also knows how to use tools. It can use branches to extract insects, reach honey, explore cavities in trees, or manipulate fruits that are difficult to eat. Sometimes, the jungle leaves become umbrellas, mattresses, or protection for its hands. These behaviors reveal a silent intelligence, formed by observation and learning. While it feeds, the orangutan also nourishes the jungle in a silent way. By eating fruits, it transports seeds over long distances and then deposits them in new areas of the forest. It thus helps the regeneration of the trees and the vital rhythm of the entire canopy. The life cycle of the orangutan is as slow as its way of moving. After about 8 months of gestation, the female usually gives birth to a single offspring. The little one clings tightly to its mother during the first years of life, learning to choose ripe fruits, break branches, build nests to sleep, recognize dangers, and remember roots. For the orangutan, childhood is a long process of learning. Each night, the orangutan builds a new nest by bending, breaking, and intertwining branches and leaves. It is a vital skill that demands dexterity, experience, and the ability to evaluate the firmness of each branch. But even a creature born to belong to the canopy can be forced to abandon its world. When the big trees are cut down, the green bridges that connect the jungle disappear. Known routes in the heights are interrupted. In front of a mother orangutan, only an expanse of open ground remains, hotter, brighter, and much more dangerous. She stops at the edge of the forest. On her back and against her chest, the offspring remains clinging to the dark red fur of its mother. Above, there are no longer branches to swing on. Below stretches the bare ground, where every crunch of dry leaves and every movement among the bushes can announce the presence of a predator. Then she begins to cross the open space. She does not move with haste, but she does move with tension. The offspring huddles against its mother's body, while she looks back again and again. It is only a few dozen meters, but it can become the most dangerous path of the day. On the ground, the orangutan is no longer the master of the canopy. It becomes slower, more visible, and more vulnerable than ever. That moment reveals that the loss of the forest does not mean just losing food or shelter. For the orangutan, it means that its map of memories has been torn apart. An ancient tree that disappears can be a bridge that will never be reconnected. A fragment of divided forest can force a mother and her offspring to enter a danger zone. Today, the Bornean orangutan faces a fragile future. Loss of jungle, forest fires, hunting, and human expansion have caused a serious decline in its populations. It depends on its structure, its rhythm, and its integrity, its resilient memory, its silent gaze, and its learning capacity are the survival strategy of one of the most intelligent creatures of Borneo. And when a reddish silhouette slowly disappears behind the leaves, we do not see just a primate looking for food. We see the soul of the ancient jungle that continues to move forward, slowly, patiently, and more fragile than ever. When the last light disappears from the Borneo canopy, the jungle enters a completely different rhythm of life. Diurnal species fall silent, while in the darkness, enormous eyes begin to open. Among the small branches, a creature so tiny it could fit in the palm of a hand remains motionless. It listens to every sound of the insects and every barely perceptible movement. It is the tarsier, the tiny hunter of the ancient Borneo jungle. The tarsier has a very small body, but its eyes are extraordinarily large compared to its size. Those eyes allow it to capture the weak light of the nocturnal forest, where even a faint glow can reveal the movement of a prey. Unlike many primates, the tarsier is a true hunter. Its diet consists mainly of insects, small lizards, spiders, and occasionally chicks or other small vertebrates. The tarsier's body is designed for precise jumps. Its long and powerful hind legs function like springs, allowing it to launch itself from one branch to another in an instant. When it detects a prey, it almost never chases it. It waits, calculates the distance, and then launches with a short, fast, and exact jump. Another strange characteristic of the tarsier is its head, capable of rotating widely. This allows it to observe its surroundings without moving its body. In the nocturnal jungle, immobility is an advantage. The less noise it makes, the more difficult it is to be detected, both by its prey and its predators. The most common image is a small shadow clinging to a branch, silent as if it were part of the forest. Although tiny, the tarsier plays an important role in the ecosystem. By hunting insects and other small animals, it helps control the populations of creatures active during the night. It is a predator of insects, but it can also become prey for snakes, owls, or larger carnivorous mammals. In that world, size does not decide everything. Precision, patience, and the ability to hide are the true keys to survival. The tarsier usually inhabits dense forests with many fine branches, low trunks, and thick vegetation. It depends on a calm environment, with enough insects and shelters to spend the day. When the jungle is fragmented, the small corridors the tarsier uses to hunt are also reduced. In the darkness of Borneo, the tarsier does not impress by its size or its strength. It represents another form of survival, small, silent, but extremely precise. Between the murmur of insects and the humidity that envelops the ancient jungle, its giant eyes continue to watch the night. They are proof that the smallest creatures carry within them some of the most extraordinary survival strategies. From afar, a heavy and regular sound echoes deep in the jungle. It is not the wind, nor a breaking branch. It is the powerful beating of the hornbill's wings, one of the most emblematic birds of the Borneo rainforest. The hornbill does not stand out only for its large size. It also stands out for its long beak and for the characteristic casque that crowns its head. When it crosses the canopy, its silhouette is almost impossible to confuse. It has wide wings, a robust body, a curved and powerful beak, and a flight that thunders among the trees. In that green and dense world, hornbills move between forest fragments. They connect fruit trees separated by long distances through constant and resistant flights. Borneo is home to several species of hornbills, including the rhinoceros hornbill. With its majestic appearance and its large casque, it has become a cultural and ecological symbol in many regions of the island. But behind that powerful beauty exists a much more important role. Hornbills are sowers of the sky. Their main food is fruits, especially large wild fruits that many small birds cannot swallow. After feeding, hornbills transport the seeds over long distances and deposit them in other areas of the jungle. Thanks to this, they help to disperse, regenerate, and connect the trees of the forest. A single flight of a hornbill can carry with it the future of many young trees that have not yet germinated. The hornbill's reproductive behavior is also one of the strangest in the bird world. When the nesting season arrives, the female enters a large cavity in a tree, usually in the trunk of an ancient specimen. Afterwards, the entrance to the nest is almost sealed with mud, droppings, and plant material. She leaves only a small opening so that the male can deliver food and maintain the whole family. That sacrifice makes hornbills deeply dependent on ancient trees. If the jungle loses the large trunks with natural cavities, they also lose their breeding sites. A forest can continue to look green, but if it lacks old trees, it will no longer be a suitable place. In the Borneo ecosystem, the call and the wing beat of the hornbill are signs of a still healthy jungle. Where hornbills continue to fly, large trees and green corridors wide enough still exist. They do not hunt with fangs or claws, nor do they dominate by force. But with every seed they transport, they silently build the future of the entire jungle. When a hornbill crosses the canopy, the sound of its wings echoes like an ancient drum among the primitive trees. It is not just the sound of a bird in motion. It is the sound of regeneration and of a jungle that still retains the capacity to heal itself. Human beings must allow it to have enough space to live. The Sunda clouded leopard is one of the most mysterious wild felines in Southeast Asia. Its fur is covered with large spots that look like dark clouds. This allows it to blend with the irregular light that filters under the canopy. In the dense environment of Borneo, that camouflage makes it a predator almost impossible to detect. Although it is not as large as a tiger, it is still one of the most powerful hunters on the island. Its compact body, its strong shoulders, and its long tail allow it to move with agility. It can move both on the ground and among the trees. In addition, it possesses extraordinarily long canines in relation to the size of its body. It is a lethal weapon in fast and sudden attacks. In the forests of Borneo, the Sunda clouded leopard usually hunts small and medium-sized animals. It seeks prey such as squirrels, birds, monkeys, and mouse deer that live near the lower strata. It does not depend on long chases, but on approaching in silence. It uses logs, thickets, and shadows to reduce the distance. When the prey discovers its presence, it is almost always too late. This feline is extremely difficult to observe in the wild. Much of what we know comes from camera traps, tracks, and studies conducted deep in the jungle. It lives in a solitary, discreet way and usually moves in moments of low light. Precisely that mystery makes it one of the most elusive wild symbols of Borneo. Up to the year 2026, the Sunda clouded leopard continues to face threats such as forest loss. As the great forests shrink, its hunting territories are divided. Every fragment of jungle that disappears reduces its chances of surviving. The Sunda clouded leopard does not dominate Borneo with roars, but with silence. In the ancient jungle, the most dangerous being is not always the largest. Sometimes it is a shadow that glides in the night and disappears into the deepest secrets. After the heavy beating of the hornbill's wings in the heights, attention returns to the ground. In the dim light under the canopy, a large animal advances slowly, alert and almost without making a sound. It is the sambar deer, the silent force of the ancient Borneo jungle. The sambar deer is one of the largest herbivores inhabiting the island's tropical forests. Its robust body, its strong legs, and its dark coat allow it to adapt to humid and muddy environments. It usually appears on the edges of the forest, near streams, rivers, or clearings. There it finds tender leaves, shoots, soft herbs, and fallen fruits. In Borneo, the sambar lives in a narrow world covered by vegetation. Every step demands caution. Its large ears turn to catch sounds. Its sensitive nose examines the wind, and its eyes watch for any strange movement among the trunks. For a large herbivore, detecting danger before it is too late is a vital condition. For predators, the sambar is an important piece of the food chain. But it is not defenseless prey. An adult can cross thickets, cross muddy areas, or disappear into the jungle in just a few moments. Males carry firm antlers used in the breeding season and also as a symbol of their silent strength. The sambar is usually most active at dawn or dusk. During the night, it moves when the temperature is milder. During the day, it hides in dense areas, rests under trees, or wallows in shallow mud. That layer of mud acts as natural protection against parasites of the humid tropical climate. Its role is not limited to being prey. By eating leaves, shoots, and fallen fruits, it helps shape the understory vegetation. By moving, it opens small paths that other species can use. By consuming wild fruits, it can also contribute to dispersing seeds. This favors the regeneration of trees on riverbanks and forest edges. But the forest edge spaces it depends on are very vulnerable. When the jungle is fragmented, its traditional routes are cut off and food decreases. Its power is in resistance and vigilance. Each track marked in the mud remembers that life continues with a slow, discreet, and deeply tenacious rhythm. After the silent shadow of the sunder-clouded leopard, the Borneo jungle reveals a creature just as unique. It is not huge like the grizzly bear, nor does it live among ice like the polar bear. It is the sun bear, the smallest bear in the world, a secret inhabitant of the tropical jungle. Its compact body, its short snout, and its low way of walking give it a distinct appearance among bears. But its most striking feature is on its chest, a yellow, orange, or cream spot, resembling a small sun on the black fur. No individual has an exactly identical mark. Each one seems like a signature that the jungle has engraved on its body. Although it is small, the sun bear is strong and agile. Its powerful legs and its long curved claws allow it to climb up trunks to look for fruits, honey, insects, or shelter. In Borneo, where food can be both on the ground and in the heights, knowing how to climb is a vital advantage. Sometimes, its tenacity appears clearly while it feeds. On a rotten log, it drives its claws into the soft wood and destroys a termite nest hidden inside. In seconds, dirt, wood fragments, and insects jump everywhere. Then, its long tongue slides between the crevices to lick up termites and larvae. But a richer reward is usually on high, guided by the sweet smell of honey. The sun bear slowly climbs up a tree to a wild honeycomb. With its claws, it breaks the structure, and hundreds of bees surround it like a furious cloud. Even so, it does not retreat. Between buzzing and stings, it remains clinging to the trunk, putting its tongue into the honeycomb to reach the honey and the larvae. The sun bear does not survive only by force. Its true advantage is in flexibility, smell, and the ability to take advantage of almost everything the jungle offers. That varied diet allows it to resist the change of seasons. It also fulfills an important function in the forest by breaking rotten logs, excavating termite nests, or looking for fallen fruits. It stirs the soil and opens space for insects, fungi, and young plants. By eating fruits, it also helps to disperse seeds and renew the jungle. But it is rarely seen. Its signals are usually discreet: claw marks on a trunk, a destroyed termite mound, or a piece of rotten wood turned over on the humid ground. In the darkness of Borneo, the sun bear moves in silence, following the aroma of ripe fruits and honey. On its chest, that luminous mark continues to shine like a small tropical sun, smaller than other bears, but perfectly adapted. It represents the silent tenacity of life in the jungle. When the morning light slides over the murky rivers of Borneo, the riparian forest begins to move. On the low branches that extend above the water, silhouettes of light orange fur advance among the leaves. They jump from one branch to another and stop among exposed roots. From some point, a deep and strange sound echoes, like an echo born from the flooded forest itself. It is the proboscis monkey, one of Borneo's most unique endemic primates. The proboscis monkey lives closely linked to rivers, mangroves, peat swamps, and the strips of forest along the water. There, where the jungle and the river mix, it finds food, shelter, and escape routes when danger appears. Unlike the orangutan, which hides high in the canopy, the proboscis monkey usually moves through low branches near the water. There, the whole group can feed, rest, and watch the movements under the surface of the river. Its most striking feature is the long and soft nose of the adult males. That nose makes its face impossible to confuse with that of any other primate, but it is not just a strange feature to recognize it. This structure works like a resonance chamber, making the male's calls sound deeper and more powerful. In the riparian world, sound becomes an essential tool to alert, attract a mate, and affirm its position. Proboscis monkeys usually live in groups formed by an adult male, several females, and their offspring. Group bonds are maintained through vocalizations, physical contact, and long periods of joint rest. During the day, they feed on young leaves, green fruits, seeds, and sometimes flowers. Their specialized digestive system allows them to process large quantities of leaves. It is a resource that not all primates can take advantage of effectively, but life next to the river is never completely safe. Under the murky water, a saltwater crocodile can be hidden. Among the thickets on the bank, a reticulated python can also wait for its opportunity. Therefore, each displacement of the group requires vigilance. They observe the water's surface, listen for strange sounds, and maintain distance from areas that are too exposed. Even so, proboscis monkeys are surprising swimmers. When they need to cross a river or escape a threat, they can launch themselves from the branches into the water and swim strongly through the current. Their partially webbed fingers help them move better in the water, turning the river into both a barrier and a survival route. Few primates are so clearly adapted to an aquatic environment as the proboscis monkey. The young learn from very early on to live next to the river. They cling to their mothers, observe how to choose safe branches, how to jump between logs, and how to react to alarm signals. In a world where a single slip can take them toward waters full of danger, the experience of the group becomes a decisive factor for survival. The proboscis monkey is not just a primate of strange appearance. It is a symbol of adaptation between the dense jungle and moving water, its body, its behavior, and its social life have been shaped by the rivers that meander through Borneo. As long as the riparian forests exist, the deep call of the proboscis monkey will continue to echo at dawn, like an ancient sonic pulse of the flooded lands. Under the apparent tranquility of Borneo's rivers, there is always an almost invisible threat. The murky water hides all movement, and the rotten logs that float slowly can seem like just another part of the river. But sometimes they are actually a creature that waits in silence, between the mud, the intertwined roots, and the gloomy banks. The saltwater crocodile appears as one of the oldest predators of the flooded lands. It is the largest reptile that still exists on Earth, an ambush killer almost perfectly designed to live in estuaries, swamps, and tropical waters. Its huge body, its skin as thick as armor, and its extremely powerful jaws make it a feared presence. It is feared by almost any creature that must come down to drink, cross the river, or look for food near the bank. The most terrifying thing about this predator is not in its speed, but in its patience. Most of the time, it only reveals its eyes and nostrils above the surface, almost motionless among the brown color of the sediment. From the outside, it looks like a log floating in silence with the current. But just one careless movement of the prey is enough for that calm to end in an instant. A female proboscis monkey firmly embraces her offspring and launches herself into the water to reach the other bank. It is a gesture that perhaps she has repeated many times in her life, a short jump between two fragments of riparian forest. But today, the river is not just an escape route. Just under the murky water, a predator is already waiting. The crocodile's eyes hardly move, following every vibration on the surface and every contact of the monkey's body with the current. Then, in a fraction of a second, the river explodes. The huge body emerges from the water with astonishing speed, and the jaws open in a fulminating ambush. For primates that live next to the river, such as proboscis monkeys or long-tailed macaques, a single wrong step toward the bank can seal their fate. In Borneo, the boundary between life and death is sometimes as thin as the layer of sediment that covers the river. In the riparian forests of Borneo, the saltwater crocodile occupies the place of apex predator. It can attack fish, water birds, reptiles, mammals, and any creature that gets too close to the water's edge. Its presence contributes to shaping the behavior of many other species. Proboscis monkeys must choose safer branches to sleep near the river. Deer, wild boars, and small mammals must stay alert every time they go down to drink. Even the calmest mudbanks can turn into deadly traps. The saltwater crocodile is not only powerful, it is also extraordinarily adapted to freshwater and brackish environments. It can live in deep river systems of the interior, but also move through estuaries and coastal areas. Thanks to that adaptation capacity, it forms an essential part of the aquatic ecosystems of Borneo, where the limits between jungle, mud, tides and currents change constantly. Although it is fearsome, the crocodile is not a killer without purpose. It hunts to survive, and by controlling populations of weak, slow or careless prey, it helps to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. In the wild world, predators like the crocodile are forces that prevent the river from falling into disorder. When the afternoon covers the surface of the water with shadows and the trees on the bank are reflected on the dark river, the saltwater crocodile returns to occupy its usual role. It only has to wait under the murky water, there where every form of life sooner or later will have to approach. And in Borneo, sometimes the greatest danger is not that which rushes from the forest, but that which remains hidden in silence right under our feet. Beneath the branches, where long-tailed macaques compete for food and launch alarm calls, the humid floor of Borneo also has creatures that move in silence. They glide along the muddy banks, flicker their forked tongues into the air, and read the jungle's scents as if following an invisible map. It is the Asian water monitor, an opportunistic reptile and patrolman of the muddy riverbanks. The Asian water monitor is one of the largest lizards in Southeast Asia. Its long, muscular and resistant body, its tail as powerful as an oar, and its sharp claws allow it to move with agility. It can move on land, underwater, and also on low logs. In the river environment of Borneo, it seems to have been born to live on the border between two worlds, land and water. Unlike the saltwater crocodile, the fearsome ambusher hidden under the river's surface, the water monitor is an opportunist. It patrols the muddy banks, explores among the roots, and checks carcasses. It hunts small fish, crabs, bird eggs, insects, frogs, and sometimes weak or injured prey. With its tongue constantly flicking in and out, it collects scent particles from the air to detect food from afar. In the Borneo ecosystem, the water monitor acts as a silent cleaner by consuming carrion, decomposing eggs, or weakened animals. It helps clean the riparian environment. It limits the accumulation of remains in a warm and humid climate, in a jungle where decomposition occurs rapidly. Omnivores like the water monitor are an essential part of the natural cycle. The swimming capacity of this reptile is also extraordinary. When it feels threatened, it can launch itself into the water, powerfully move its long tail to cross the current, and disappear among the flooded roots. In a matter of seconds, a body that seemed heavy on the bank transforms into a flexible shadow under the river's surface. Although its appearance is fierce, the water monitor is not always an active hunter. Most of the time, it depends on patience and opportunity. An abandoned bird's nest, a stranded fish after the water recedes, or the body of a small animal washed ashore can become food. The water monitor is also part of the riverbank alert chain. Its presence can make waterbirds scream. Monkeys on the branches stand guard, or smaller creatures hide quickly. It does not occupy the top of power like the crocodile, but it is imposing enough that every small animal stays alert. When the first light touches the Borneo canopy, a sound rises from deep within the jungle. It is not the roar of a predator, nor the water hitting the riverbank. It is a series of sharp, long, and resonant songs that cross the ancient trunks as the first declaration of the new day. The owner of that voice is the Muller's Bornean gibbon, one of the great artists of the rainforest heights. Unlike the long-tailed macaques, noisy at the forest edges, or the proboscis monkeys that live near the water, Muller's gibbon belongs to the elevated world of the canopy. It moves between branches through powerful, fast, and precise swings. Its long arms allow it to cross the spaces between the crowns as if gravity were barely a fragile limit. In a few seconds, an individual can disappear from view, leaving behind only the trembling of the leaves and branches still in motion. Muller's Bornean gibbon usually lives in small family groups, formed by an adult couple and their offspring. The bonds between members are maintained through calls, mutual care, and joint movements through known routes in the canopy. In the morning, their songs echo to mark territory, communicate with the partner, and warn other groups not to get too close. In a jungle where sight is blocked by thousands of layers of leaves, sound becomes an invisible map of the territory. Its food consists mainly of ripe fruits, tender leaves, flowers, and sometimes small insects. By eating fruits and moving through wide areas of the forest, it contributes to dispersing seeds and helps maintain canopy regeneration. Each trip in search of food forms part of the jungle's life cycle. The trees bear fruit, the gibbons transport the seeds, and new young plants grow back under the light filtered through the leaves. But life in the heights demands absolute precision. A rotten branch, a miscalculated jump, or too wide a distance can become a danger. From a young age, the young gibbons must learn to cling to their mother's body, observe the group's routes, and gradually practice their first swings. Every movement that seems light is, in reality, the result of instinct, experience, and an extraordinary capacity to calculate space. Muller's Bornean gibbon is also very sensitive to forest fragmentation. It depends on a continuous canopy to move. When jungle fragments are separated by roads or plantations, their roots in the heights are also broken. For this species, an open space on the ground can become an invisible wall that separates territories, food, and mates. After the distant song of Muller's Bornean gibbon, the canopy falls silent again. But between the dense layers of green leaves, another colour begins to appear. It is a deep reddish-brown tone that glides silently through the branches and disappears among the shadows of the foliage. It is the maroon langur of Borneo, one of the characteristic primates of the island's tropical jungles. The red langur is not as noisy as the long-tailed macaque, Nor does it have an appearance as strange as the proboscis monkey. It lives more discreetly, mainly in the trees. There, the high branches become paths, places of rest, and feeding zones. Its reddish-brown fur can stand out when light reaches it, but it also blends easily with the bark and dry leaves. This primate belongs to the group of folivorous monkeys. Its diet includes tender leaves, seeds, fruits, flowers, and other soft plant parts. To digest food so rich in fiber, its body needs a specialized digestive system. This functions as a natural fermentation chamber that allows it to break down plant parts that are difficult to process. The red langur usually lives in small groups, moving slowly through the canopy and dedicating much of its time to feeding, resting, and observing. In a jungle where danger can come from the clouded leopard or from a fall from high branches, prudence is a necessary instinct. The young follow their mothers closely. They learn to choose firm branches, recognize tender leaves, and respond to the group's alarm signals. The red langur's role in the Borneo jungle is not noisy, but it is constant. By feeding on leaves, seeds, and fruits, it participates in the energy flow of the canopy. By moving through different areas of the forest, it also helps connect jungle fragments. It becomes part of the silent rhythm that sustains life between the high branches. It is a fundamental link in Borneo's complex biological network. After the discreet reddish tone of the red langur, the Borneo jungle reveals another colour that is more sober and difficult to distinguish. Between trunks covered with moss, high intertwined branches, and the weak light under the canopy, a grey shadow moves softly among the leaves. Without noise, without attracting attention, almost without leaving a trace, it is the grey leaf monkey, also known as the Bornean grey langur, a reserved inhabitant of the deep jungle. Unlike the long-tailed macaque, agile at the forest edges, or the proboscis monkey, visible next to the rivers, the grey langur lives in a much more silent way. It usually appears in dense forests, where the treetops form natural bridges over the ground. Its grey fur allows it to blend with the bark, shadows, and dim light, until almost disappearing when it remains motionless on a branch. The grey langur belongs to the group of folivorous primates. Its diet includes tender leaves, shoots, flowers, seeds, and some fruits. To live on fiber-rich foods, it needs a specialized digestive system, capable of slowly breaking down plant matter to extract energy from the leaves. Therefore, its rhythm of life is usually more paused, prudent, and of lower energy expenditure than that of other, more active primates. It moves in small groups, maintaining contact through brief calls, glances, and body movements. The young stay near their mothers during the first months, learning to choose tender leaves and maintain balance on fine branches. In the canopy world, a strange sound or a branch that vibrates unusually can be a warning. Although it is not a predator, the grey langur fulfills an important function in the ecosystem By feeding on leaves, flowers, and fruits, it participates in the nutrient cycle of the canopy. The plant remains that fall during its meals feed insects, fungi, and small organisms in the soil. It thus connects the life of the heights with the humid, decomposing layer. Its survival depends on continuous forests. When the canopy is fragmented by logging, roads, or plantations, its roots are also broken. For a species used to living under the protection of the crowns, losing those green bridges means losing an essential part of its safety. In the deep jungle of Borneo, the grey langur does not need to stand out to be important. It is a quiet shadow among the trees, part of the slow and resilient rhythm of the tropical forest. If the orangutan represents ancient intelligence, the grey langur represents the silence of the deep jungle. It is discreet but indispensable in the great biological balance of Borneo. When the morning fog still covers the murky rivers of Borneo, the ground begins to tremble slightly. It is not the roar of a predator, nor a flood crossing the low forest. It is the footsteps of some quiet giants, the Bornean pygmy elephants, which emerge slowly among the trees. They leave behind deep tracks in the mud and broken young branches. In the humid tropical rainforest, the Bornean pygmy elephant is one of the island's most unique mammals. It is a subspecies of the Asian elephant, described by its somewhat smaller size. It possesses relatively large ears, a long tail, and a more peaceful temperament than that of other populations. Although called pygmy, it is still an imposing animal. It is capable of opening paths among the dense vegetation and modifying the forest with every step. Today, the majority of these elephants live in Sabah, in northeastern Borneo. They especially inhabit low forests, river valleys, and still connected ecological corridors. For them, the river is not just a water source. It is a travel route, a place to find minerals, and access to food zones. In the Kinabatangan Basin, seeing a herd is one of the most vivid images of Borneo. Pygmy elephants live in very close-knit family groups. The center of the herd is usually formed by adult females with experience, who guide the calves and the young. In such a closed jungle, memory works like a living map. They must remember seasonal water sources, areas with tender shoots, and mineral-rich puddles. Their diet includes grasses, young leaves, bark, and wild banana stems. Every day, an elephant can consume a large amount of food. That makes it a true architect of the lower forest. By breaking branches, stepping on bushes, and opening paths, it allows light to reach the ground. This favors the growth of young plants and creates opportunities for many other species. They are also important seed dispersers. By eating forest fruits, They transport the seeds long distances through their digestive system. Then they deposit them in new places, regenerating the jungle silently. Despite their large size, these elephants do not dominate through aggression. They move calmly and communicate with deep sounds and trunk snorts. They emit vibrations that are difficult for humans to perceive. The calves remain protected in the center of the group. In the face of a threat, the adults can close ranks and form a living wall around the smallest ones. Until 2026, the Borneo elephant is still considered an endangered species. It has an estimated population of about 1,000 individuals in the wild, of which around 400 are breeding adults. Its main threats are forest loss. Habitat fragmentation, agricultural expansion, logging and mining cut off its ancient migration routes. When the forest is divided, elephants must cross human areas. Those encounters usually provoke conflicts, such as damaged crops or elephants chased and injured. For such a small population, losing only a few individuals affects its recovery capacity. Beneath the dense canopy of Borneo, water still flows through murky rivers and branches continue to tremble with the passage of primates. New seeds fall on the humid soil to start another life cycle. Borneo is not just a jungle. It is a complete world, where each tree, each stream, and each animal fulfills a function within the fragile order of nature. But that green fortress is no longer invulnerable. In more than 4 decades, Borneo has lost around 30% of its forest surface. The main causes are logging, fires, and the expansion of plantations. Logging roads open the way for machinery, hunting, and habitat fragmentation. When the forest is divided, the animals' roots are also broken. Hornbill nests disappear along with the ancient trees. Pygmy elephants, proboscis monkeys, and langurs lose life corridors used for generations. These changes are reflected in the fall of each species. The Bornean orangutan has decreased by more than 50% in about 60 years. Its habitat was reduced by at least 55% in only 20 years. The Borneo elephant has barely about 1,000 individuals in the wild, of which around 400 are breeding adults. For slow-breeding species, each individual lost is an erased memory. When the jungle is exploited without control, the soil ceases to be protected by the green cover. The heat dries the leaf litter and the water level drops in the peat forests. A single spark can turn the jungle into a sea of smoke. The fires release enormous amounts of greenhouse gases stored for thousands of years. Only the Indonesian peat fires in 1997, released between 0.81 and 2.57 billion tons of carbon into the atmosphere. Therefore, forest loss is related to global climate change. When the jungle remains intact, the trees absorb carbon, retain water, and cool the air. But when it is burned, that carbon returns to the atmosphere and accelerates the warming of the planet. The increase in temperature facilitates droughts and fires, and the fires again heat the climate even more. It is a dangerous cycle that affects both nature and human beings. Borneo teaches us that biodiversity is a living connection between each seed, each river, and each wing. If the orangutan disappears, the jungle loses an important seed disperser. If the pygmy elephant disappears, the natural clearings of the low forest become silent. If the hornbills decrease, many seeds will no longer reach distant areas of the forest. If those links are broken one after another, the jungle will stop functioning as it has for millions of years. In that so precise organization, the wonderful mark of the Creator can be felt. Every living being, large or small, fierce or silent, occupies its own place in the order of life. That turns Borneo into something more sacred than a common jungle. It reminds us that nature does not exist to be exploited until exhausted, but as a living system that must be respected. The message of Borneo is a natural lesson. To protect life. First, the place where life begins must be protected. Defending the jungle means protecting the water, the climate, and the future of thousands of species. Every decision of responsible consumption and every restored forest can help to stop that disappearance. While light continues to pierce the leaves, orangutans continue moving among the branches. Miller's gibbons continue singing at dawn. Hornbills cross the canopy, and beneath those green crowns, Borneo maintains its silent battle to survive. If you have felt the beauty and the strength of this trip, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell so as not to miss the next stories about wild nature. In places like Borneo, every creature protected today can be the key for the entire jungle to continue alive tomorrow. See you on the next trip.